So greetings from Pennsylvania once again. We're still here in Tuscarora State Forest with all the bugs, the flying gnats and stuff. They're really bad today. That's why I have the bug net on. Otherwise I'd be going nuts. But filming a couple of stuff here, some CCC camps. We filmed some covered bridges today. Stopped at my campsite where I'm going to be staying at, site number 17, which looks pretty cool. We get joined by a friend later tonight. But in this video, we're going to be looking for the Bell's Furnace Cemetery. So there was an iron furnace in this area called Bell's Furnace. I couldn't find a whole lot of information online about it, just some information for the cemetery. So I was doing I'm filming another video here too on the CCC Camp S58. Sorry, the bugs are getting all over me. So I passed the sign for the Bell's Furnace Cemetery, or site, just up that way. So we're gonna head back that way. There supposedly is a cemetery here somewhere, so we're gonna look for that. I'll show you my face a little bit and then see if we can find, it looked kind of weird there, but then we'll look for I don't know if there's gonna be anything left of the furnace or not, but we'll see. I got some time yet before I gotta get back to camp, so let's go looking. All right, so let's head out of this picnic area. I'll show you on the map later where we're at, where the cemetery is. I'm not sure how accessible it is. It shows it on the map, but we'll see. Gotta drive back up this road. So I'm not sure how abandoned this cemetery is, if it's just completely overgrown or what, but there's a gate here. I'm not sure if the cemetery would be, there's like a stone place up there. Anyway, just down here was the sign for it. Off to our left right here. Yeah, site of Bell's Furnace, 1839 to 1856. So where's the cemetery? Alright, so here's our purple lizard maps for Tuscarora State Forest. This is the northern section. We're all the way down here. This is Licking Creek Road. We're camping up here at site number 17. So all the way down here, we were right here on this little spot down here, drove up here. There's a gated road right here. It shows the cemetery being right here, Bell's Furnace Cemetery. Huh. Just up past that gated area. So I wonder, maybe we need to go up that, maybe it seems like it's up in there somewhere. Right there's the sign. So maybe we'll just leave the Jeep here, turn it off. I think it's like a okay place to park, and then we'll head up this way, see what we can find. That'll be our best bet. Get eaten by the bugs too. Alright. We'll see. There should be some kind of, if there is like a legit cemetery, there should be some kind of trail or something going up there. But we won't know what the search. Maybe do a little bushwhacking, we'll see. So I parked there. We could go back up that way, but maybe, look at the map, it could be, I think I see a pull off up there. It just says the cemetery's up in that way, so I wonder, because this is all Tuscarora Forest, it's Tuscarora State Forest over here, but maybe there's a trail up there. I think I see a pull off, so we might check that before I go busting around elsewhere. Let's go up there and check that out. Alright, so down there a ways is where I was parked. I thought this was a pull off right here, but it wasn't, but we're okay, because I kept coming up further. Yeah, I kept coming up further past that turn, and there's a parking spot right here, and look, Bell Furnace Cemetery. So we're gonna, looks like there's a trail going up there. So the furnace site where we were, that other sign we saw was over that way, so we might look around for that in a moment. I got time yet, but let's head up this way. So I just saw a picture or two online of this. I'm not sure how big it is. Probably not too big. But wow, this is back here. Yeah, I guess I was under the assumption that the cemetery would be near that other sign, but it's not. It's up the road just a little bit more. Quite a bit longer. I wasn't sure there'd be any trail at all, but there's, yeah. This was probably not the original way they took to get to the cemetery. Let's put it up here on the hill. Oh yeah, I see a sign for it up here. I think on the other side here is where that gravel rock area we saw earlier. I see a sign. Alright, what do we have here? Cemetery, now they call it Edwards Furnace. Okay, that was the guy's name, Edward Bell. Alright, this cemetery likely served the small community surrounding Edwards Furnace, also known as Bell's Furnace. Maybe that's why I had trouble finding information. I was looking for Bell's Furnace. Maybe I should look for Edwards. Yeah, so the furnace stood a few hundred yards to the north. The charcoal-fired iron furnace was built by Edward Bell in 1836. It's about 1856. Such a furnace would have required at least 70 workmen to operate and supply the raw materials. Iron and charcoal. These workmen and their families, associated people, formed a busy village that once existed around what today is the intersection of Black Log and Licking Creek Drive. Many similar furnaces were located. Yeah, so here's the legend, the cemetery plan. Corner posts, graves, large tree. So here's the sign, we're here. So the cemetery is just right up here. So it gotta look like a grouping. They're kind of spread out. There's a grave, bunch here and some there. So, all right. Looks like they try to keep it a little bit maintained. Yeah, so here are some, wow, you see here's some markers, just some rough field stones. No names on them really. But there's people buried here. Almost looks like there's this one there. I wonder if this is the large tree they're mentioning. Or it could be that one right there. I'll come back on a hillside here. Yeah, it's hard to tell, you know. Some of these markers, I don't know. So I doubt there's much in the way of, you know, the markers we're used to, like the nicely carved ones. Though I thought I did see some online. Huh. It is all very overgrown with thorns, but it looks like they sprayed these to try and kill them. You're just not really seeing. Okay, so back there is a signboard, so I think we need to go more up here. Oh, is that thunder? I think it is. This was a thunderstorm. Wow. I mean, how do they even know where the graves are? Maybe we'll find some more. Let's just keep searching. I'm just not really seeing anything. Even took my bug net off. Like I thought I saw online at least one marker that looked, you know, nicer, if I could word it that way. Easy to see. But wow, I'm not seeing anything. Except for those two rough looking ones down below. Huh. This is like this where they stopped spraying. Yeah, but I'm just not really seeing anything. I mean, it's pretty clear. They have, oh yeah, hold steady here. There's like an area that they, I think obviously they have sprayed in the past to kill the thorns that were here. Since we're standing in this location. I'm hearing more thunder. Huh. But anyway, I wonder if I'm not feeling raindrops. This might be cut short. Yeah, just looking around. It's almost a wonder they even found this place. Right now it looks distinctly different. You look over there, it's nice and green. Or over there it's nice and green, but here it's, you know, a browner color, because that's like, I think they sprayed in here. These are all thorns and stuff. But like, how'd you even find these people? But yeah. I mean, here it looks like an area. There's like a flatter area here. Maybe there's some people buried in here. There's like little ledges. Yeah, here there's storm clouds coming. Yeah, down. Oh yeah, look at this. So here's a collapsed area. This is collapsed in right here. So this is someone's grave right here. Like I said down there, their coffin sometimes collapses, if they had a coffin. But yeah. There might be more. Yeah, like down there is where I found those two, like, field stones or tombstones. Maybe there might be more of those in here. I'm just not finding them. But wow. And this is where people, like there was a town. Back up near where I first parked, there was a town up there. It might be cool to come back to this area sometime and look around more. But yeah, this is a cemetery. Wow. Not much to see, but this is where a number of people died, were buried. Lost history. Yeah, just a little bit miffed, because I think I seen our hole right there. When I looked on research this, I think the site Find a Grave came up, and they had a picture of a nicer tombstone, but maybe that was just some random picture they put there for the cemetery. So I'm not seeing anything like that here. Like, the only thing that looks like tombstones are the ones I showed you at the beginning down here by this tree. These ones right here, because right there's our signpost, but wow. I'll take a look at the signpost again. Signboard, I should say. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's, I'm just trying to figure out. So a large tree. Not sure which one they mean by that, because is it that multi-trunked one, or the one, or that one right there? Because according to the signboard, see all these, there should be a whole row of graves literally like right next to us right here, according to that. And then a whole bunch just up there. So yeah, I'm just thinking, so we're right here. So literally right here. I'm just wondering how, that's a tree, like how do they know that? Unless they had the area clear in the past. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so literally like right here would be a row of graves. Alright, but I think we better get out of here. Those rumblings are getting closer, and I have a bit of a way to go back to where I parked. So anyway, you know, kind of a somber spot. This is where a bunch of people are buried. They don't really know how many are here, but they're here, kind of, you know, forgotten. I'm still wondering, was that a stone? Hey, there's a stone right there. But I think it's facing this way, so that's, okay, so that's one right there. So maybe and that's just a little stub of a marker there. So this is, yeah, this must be that row going up. So I guess if you clear away, you kind of find a row of those shorter stubs. All right, cool. So there's one right there. All right. I guess we probably should get out of here. Yeah, it's an interesting spot to have a nice little signboard out here. This would be a place to come back to in the future, maybe in the winter, late fall, early spring when all the foliage is down. Might be able to see those better. And maybe look for the ruins of the furnace. Like this time of year is just kind of not the best. Maybe ruins for the town too. That might be, since we're all in state forest land, that might be a good video to make in the future when we can look for ruins better at that time of year. So I think that's a plan. All right, but let's head back. It's getting dark. I was thinking about looking for the furnace, but that area is just so overgrown back there. So I think, like I said, instead of getting frustrated and caught in a thunderstorm, I think we'll save that for the future, if I remember. But it's cool to find a cemetery. All right, but let's get back to the Jeep. We'll start making our way back to our campsite. All right, so I'm back at my campsite. I had to cut that adventure short. The thunder was coming. It's not raining too bad right here in the moment, but it started to rain back at the cemetery area, so just the bugs. But yeah, at least we got consider it some reconnaissance done. Might be a place to come back to in the future to look for that furnace stack and some other remains of that village. But kind of a cool video. We still found this cemetery. We'll say that's a plus for that. All right, but I gotta get my camp set up. I'd like to get my pavilion set up before the rains come. But anyway, thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one.